to be found.
I really don't like that guy. I really don't like y'all.
And you know, niggas can suck my dick.
This nigga wanna be Tupac. That's not hip hop. That's R&B.
You think that
I don't know why I was expecting my father to rescue me. I realized I've been looking for him all my life. I think depression's a luxury.
Wow.
Because where I'm from, you can't afford to be depressed. You got to pay the bill, right?
Right.
So you got to go to work. You got to get up. You got to go do what you got to do. You got people right now that's at work that don't feel like being there.
Mm-hmm.
But they got responsibilities, so
Yes,
they
sir.
they feel uncomfortable while they're working, while they're doing what they got to do. Like, when these guys get in a slump and they just decide that they're not going to do anything, I'm like, where they do that at? Not surprisingly, at this point, the streets in the business world often don't seem that different to me. Neither play fair. Both are ultra-competitive. They're both ruthless, and you can still dominate each one if you follow several basic principles. Be fearless. Most people run from what they're afraid of. I run towards it. That doesn't mean I think I'm bulletproof. I've learned the hard way that I'm not, or that I'm unaware of danger. I experience fear as much as the next man. I don't follow the chain of command. I go straight to the source of what I'd like to happen. You know what I mean? Because people in between would like to get you to take less to do it to impress the people at the top. Well, the most ruthless people that you run into are going to be people that are just focused and not necessarily taking your life into consideration while they're taking theirs. It's like the district attorney's office that she wants the conviction so she can move up and her career can be good. She'll give you 100 years. And you look and go, why so much? Like, why you had to do that? And it was like, what? You did it. In her mind, it's her doing her job and her moving up to the next level, and she'll just knock you over. You just become collateral damage. There's more ruthless people in the business world than in the street. You know, like they just have subtleties to their tactics. How they do things is more, you know, it's not confrontational. Like the fighters, they look good after they have 8 weeks of training and they focus their mind for 8 weeks straight. You got 8 seconds in the street. You got 8 seconds to adjust and do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? It's not like it's gonna be, we can go home and think about the fight. I don't usually see people excited leaving the tables in Vegas if they didn't put chips on the table. You know, you make investments in different things. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. More losses than wins, but when you do win, you win so big, it makes up for everything. One of the cornerstones of my sustained success is that I don't rush into deals. Even though I've become synonymous with getting paid, I never chase money. I evaluate every new venture based on its long-term potential, not on what the first check I get is going to look like. The reason I do that is I have supreme confidence in my own value and ability. I'm secure that as long as I'm betting on myself, I'm always going to win. There's going to be people unhappy with the success that you have regardless. You know, they'll, without knowing who you are, an individual could look and just judge you and say, I don't like that. He had that diamond goat on his neck. Why'd he put that there? You got to be a certain kind of person because he liked diamonds. I need people to understand that there is no such thing as making it. That no matter how much money you stack, fame you achieve, or success you taste, there are going to be more struggles in your future, more drama to deal with, more obstacles placed in your path. The goal is not just to be successful. It's about learning how to sustain that success, too. Hustling might be associated with selling drugs, but it's also a character trait that's shared by winners in every profession. Steve Jobs was as much of a hustler at Apple as I was on the streets. The key to building up that trait in your own personality is accepting that you're never hustling towards a certain goal. Hustling is a motor that's got to be running inside of you each and every day, and its fuel is passion. If you can keep that motor running, it will take you everywhere you want to go in life. You're only going to be as strong as the weakest person in your crew. That's why you have to be extremely conscious of who you have around you. Betrayal is never as far away as you'd like to believe. That's why it's imperative to find a balance between establishing trust and discipline in the people you work with and giving them the freedom to be themselves. If you can establish that equilibrium, you'll be in a position to get the very best out of your team. Is that at every stage of my life, I've been willing to assess any new situation I find myself in and make the necessary adjustments. While I'll always draw from the lessons I learned on the streets, I'll never be limited to them. Instead, I'm always looking to absorb new information from as many sources as possible. I don't care where you come from or what you look like. If you've created success, I want to learn from you. Everything you share with the world, your words, your energy, what you wear, tells a story. You must make sure your narrative always presents you as the person you want to be seen as, even if your reality tells a slightly different story. One of the secrets to getting whatever you want in life is creating the perception that you don't need a thing. That can be a difficult energy to project, especially when you're struggling. But committing to that perception will make you more attractive, professionally, personally, and even romantically. Some people try to portray me as a troll or a bully, but that's not accurate. My first instinct is always to build positive and mutually beneficial relationships with people. But if someone isn't interested in being friends with me, I'm more than comfortable being enemies with them. The reason is I believe competition is healthy for all parties involved. Whether it's taking on established rappers or hit TV shows, I've always experienced my greatest success when I met my rivals head on without any hesitation. Learn from your L's. As many victories as I've racked up over the years, I've experienced many more losses. That doesn't make me an exception among successful people. It makes me the rule. I don't know an affluent rapper, mogul, executive, or entrepreneur whose losses don't far outweigh their wins. Comfort, I learned, is a dream killer. It saps our ambition, blinds our vision, promotes complacency. The number one thing most people are comfortable with is fear. Not that most of them would admit it. Ask someone if they're living in a constant state of fear, and they'll probably say, of course not. That's just pride talking, though. Till you take full responsibility for what happens in your life. No one owes you anything, just as you don't owe anyone else. Once you accept that fundamental truth and accept that you control your journey, so many doors that seem closed are going to open up in front of you. You can't spend your life avoiding intimacy and love, something I've struggled with. If you fear failure, you can't stop taking risks. If you fear the unknown, you can't stop trying new experiences. It is not death a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. A lot of y'all are like the kid that fell off his scooter and waited for his mommy to come over and say, baby, are you all right? Not me. When I fall off, I'm not waiting for a sympathetic word. If you put in the work and know your shit, raise your damn hand. Every single time. There's nothing worse than being someone who spent hours, even when you're off the clock at home, studying your company's reports. But when your boss asks for that information, you always let someone else provide it first. That person probably hasn't put in nearly the work that you have, but they're also not afraid to be wrong. So when your boss looks at this person, she sees someone who is active, who's participated, who seems passionate. When she looks at you, she doesn't know what to think. Maybe she doesn't think anything at all. It's not fair, but that person with their hand always up is going to be promoted before you. They're going to get an office before you. It's imperative that you create your own comfort zone without depending on any substance for help. Yes, you might believe the weed makes you a better writer, or the liquor makes it easier to be yourself. But you also need the confidence to know that you can do it without them. Otherwise, you're never going to be in total control of your own situation. No matter what situation or setting you find yourself in, you don't ever want to depend on anything or any other person to make you feel in control and comfortable. That sense of confidence should always come from within, not from an external source. Here's the bottom line. Whether you're a rapper, stockbroker, scientist, school teacher, or drug dealer, you're going to experience peaks and valleys. Even when you think you've been through it all, you're going to find out there's still more shit to go through. One of the most important realizations I came to early in my business career is that I'm running through an endless tunnel. What I mean by that is that I came to understand that there's no happily ever after. No matter how many records I sell, cases of liquor I move, and hit TV shows I create and executive produce, there's never going to be a moment where I say, okay, this is the end of the road, I finally made it, and take my foot off the pedal. I know there's going to be another challenge right around the corner and another one right after that.